So I said, do you mind me asking? Like, I see like really bad back. And he went, yeah. And I said, well, I can see back surgery. And he went, oh, don't know about that. Anyway, 3 weeks later, he fell backwards, broke his back. He had a major surgery.
Oh my God.
We have a very, very special guest this week. Liv, would you like to introduce?
This is Chris Riley, the celebrity psychic.
Thank you. I always feel like, how do I even explain what I do? Because I've just turned 30, but I feel like I'm still trying to understand, like, a part of my mind that I have feelings and thoughts that I've had all my life. And I suppose for me, it started when I was about probably 8 years old.
You are going to do some readings for us. I said, we have time to, you're going to try and do both of us, but you said you feel a stronger connection with Liv.
You're a bit switched on anyway.
Do you think?
Yeah.
So can you tell that just from meeting her today?
Really?
Have you been to America? No.
Years and years ago.
LA?
No.
You're going to be in LA.
Doing what? Selling my lube?
Got to be careful of what you're agreeing to at the minute.
Okay.
Contracts. In the nicest way, can be a little bit naive.
Uh-huh.
You like to see the good in people.
Yeah.
It's like you always want to do more and do better.
Yeah.
But you have to be careful of being misled. I don't like to talk about pregnancy, but I have to.
I'm not pregnant, am I?
Yeah, I've got to talk about pregnancy.
Okay, we have a very, very special guest this week. Liv, would you like to introduce our special guest?
This is Chris Riley, the celebrity psychic.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about this.
Chris, thank you for doing this.
No problem at all.
You are actually our first guest on this new reboot of Private Parts, which is very exciting.
Thanks for having me.
Can you sort of briefly explain to our listeners who you are and what you do?
I always feel like, how do I even explain it, what I do? Because I've just turned 30, but I feel like I'm still trying to understand. I suppose really where what I feel and say comes from. It's like...
Yeah.
So to explain, it's like a part of my mind that I have feelings and thoughts that I've had all my life. And I suppose for me, it started when I was about probably 8 years old, I'd say. It's my earliest memory.
And what happened?
And I had a really traumatic childhood, which is something that really kind of at a point where now I've turned 30, not just turning 30, but I just feel like I'm at a point now where I'm quite open about what I went through. And I suppose really in times of what I'd say was like suffering, I used to speak to, which sounds so crazy now in my head, a woman. I used to hear a woman's voice. And when I used to go to bed at night and I used to basically not want to be alive, I mean, I was so young, but I didn't want to wake up. I used to hear this woman talk to me when it was only about 5-10 years. I was probably about 16 actually when I found out it was my nan that died before I was born, because my aunt on my dad's side put a tape recorder on when she was a little girl. And we came across these tapes one day and I said, who's that? And she's like, that's Mum, that's Nan. And I said, what? I said, I've been hearing that voice all my life. And they said, what are you talking about? Don't be so ridiculous. And to be fair with you, like, I haven't got family. Like, obviously the last, say, 10 years, I started this work very young. I must have been 16, younger than that actually. And I had, say, like clients, I'd call them clients, but people online that were, I mean, I don't know where what I was saying was coming from. Even being at school, I'd say things and go into class and be like, she's pregnant. And they'd be like, what are you going on about now? And then the next week it'd be like, the teacher would come and be like, oh, I'm having a baby. And everyone would look at me and be like, how do you know that? And I think that through what I went through, I really kind of like pushed it away. Like I didn't believe it because I was told like, be quiet, what are you talking about, all the time. So now, like however many years later, it's what I do all the time. And I have done since leaving school. I left school, went to college and wasn't happy. And then I felt like, I sort of like left school and had this, I was actually doing it on eBay. Like people would pay like £5, £2, £3, £5. And I'd just type and I used to think, where's this coming from?
That's
like
nuts.
Names and like descriptions of things and people. And because I started with the cards. Yeah. And now this is all I do really. I mean,
it's very, because I think people will be interested because you've turned this into like a massive, you know, you have people working for you and it's like a big business now, right? This is what you do and you're very successful at it.
It's like I'm the face of it.
Yeah.
How do you feel like, do you find ever with people they have to be susceptible to it for you to be able to like read them, or is it just anyone?
I think like, I don't ever turn people away.
Yeah.
And I feel like when people pay you and they book a reading, they're paying you and they're obviously paying and they've got every intention of it being good. But it's the ones that, I mean, I did a lot of pubs, like when I was young. I started in doing pubs and stuff.
Or just go and read random people's...
Yeah, like
really?
drinking pubs, and I'd do like
I'd have a
private
heart attack if I was
readings.
2
Honestly,
tequilas
right?
deep.
I actually saw a
Someone
picture
said.
of me like last week before, and I was so young, and I'm like, I must be 17, and I've got like a tablecloth on the table
Oh my God.
with like a crystal ball and cards, and that's what I used to do. And I used to get people that were so awkward,
Yeah.
Really?
and I used to get people that were so open. And there was this one time where, I mean, I could tell you so many stories, but there was one time where this lady came, and this is quite a long story, so I'll tell you a little bit of it, but basically she was probably like in her 60s, and she sat down and she was like, are you the reader? And I said, yeah. And I used to get that quite a lot, because
Yeah.
obviously I was so young. And she went, oh, right. And I said, okay. So I started to say all this stuff, and she just said, I can't believe it. And then a week or few weeks later, her daughter emailed me and said, you read for my mum. Like, we can't believe, like, my mum is gobsmacked with what you said. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of confidence. That was the other thing. That was part of sitting behind the screen, doing it through eBay or online. Like, I didn't have to show my face.
Yeah.
And it was only when, like, live streaming came out, like Facebook Live, that's when I started to sort of, like,
Oh my God.
you know. She said, yeah, my mum can't believe what you've said. Like, I want to come and have a reading with you. And I said, all right. Then a few months went by, and I went back to the same place. And she came in and sat down, the daughter, and I'm doing this reading. And at the time, I must have been 17-ish. And I sort of like, because you have to be really mindful of what you say and how you present what you say and how you make people feel. I think that's really important. So for me, it was often it would be like, do I say that? Do I not say that? Whatever. And I'm doing this reading, no cards, nothing. And I just felt like, I said to her, I don't know the exact words, but I said to her, like, is your mum well? So a few months has gone by since I've seen her mum. I've read for her mum once in person, not spoke to her since. Her daughter's contacted me, and she said, like, no. And I thought, your mum's got cancer. In my head, it went, cancer. And I thought, oh, no. And she's sitting, like, so much closer, like, knee to knee, right? We're, like, chair, knee, knee.
Yeah.
And it's intense. And she's going to me, please tell me. And as she's saying, please tell me, it's like a movie screen in my mind. And I could see, like, a tumour in the stomach, on the stomach lining.
Oh my
Like,
God, it's giving me shivers.
really, I know, really small. I think this will stick with me the rest of my life. Really, really small, like the size of a pea. And I'm thinking, I can't tell you that. And in my head, it's like, so much happens in such a short time. It's like how can I describe it? It's like 10 seconds is like a minute in my head. It's like so many thoughts, feelings, names, descriptions. And so I was like, I can't say this. And she went, please tell me. And I told her. She went away. I think it was 2 weeks later. Bear in mind, I was so young.
Yeah.
This is a lot for me to take on, right? I was so young. I said, right, take my phone number. If you want to talk to me, phone me, contact me. And she did 2 weeks later. It was exactly right.
Really?
They removed the tumour. Her mum had chemotherapy. Sadly, she passed away. But she had like 3 years of her life that she might not have had. So yeah,
Oh
that's,
my God.
that
So
will
can
stick
I
with me.
ask-
And even after that, like I spoke to the daughter after her mum had died, and the things that came through to me,
Really?
were like wild. That she got so much validation
From it.
and that's why I do what I do. The people that are open to it are open to it.
So can I just ask? So when presumably you must meet people all the time, and do you meet people and occasionally like pick up some negative vibe or energy or whatever? And will you tell them that, or will you just let them get on with their lives and think I'm not gonna get involved?
I don't, saying that, like that experience, I don't really pick up health stuff, like
Can you-
bad things. But I could look at you and say, you've got IBS or you've got backache or...
Or monotone.
I read for one of my celeb clients recently, right? She spoke about this online, and I spoke to her, I don't know how long ago this is now, maybe a year ago nearly now, something like that. And this is the first, I think this was the first time I've read for her. And I've got on the phone, and her phone's in the car, and her partner's there. And he's sort of in the background, and I heard his voice. As soon as I heard his voice like that, I thought, you've got a back problem, right? Just you've got a back problem. And I thought, you've got 2 discs in your back, and I could see back surgery. Those are the things that came in my head. So I said, do you mind me asking, like, I see, like, really bad back. And he went, yeah. And I said, well, I can see back surgery. And he went, oh, don't know about that. And I said, oh, right. I said, because I can see a back surgery. I said, and I can see, like, 2 discs in your back. And he went, no, I don't know about that. Anyway, 3 weeks later, he fell backwards, broke his back. He had a major surgery.
Oh my God.
Kat Graham, this was. She won't mind me saying because she did a video about it. And that's just...
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Can you say, like, not can you say, but say someone was going to die or something awful was going to happen and you've, like, hear it or whatever, would you tell them?
Now, I feel like I'm very kind of in control of what I want and what I don't want to have come through.
Yeah.
If somebody puts me in a position where they're like, tell me about this, like that woman did back years ago with the mum and the cancer conditions, then they will push it out of me.
Yeah.
They will will it out of me. Like if you
Because I
sat there
suppose
and
that
said,
is
there's
helpful
something,
though, but like...
something wrong with my health,
Yeah.
what's wrong with me? And I went, oh, I'm not sure.
So you have to sort of...
kept going on and on and on. It's like, it will just come. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have to like intentionally think. You wouldn't like meet someone in a pub and be like, oh, they're going to die in 3 weeks or something. You have to intentionally think about it.
Occasionally I'll see like celebs online and stuff and I'll think, oh, you're going to break up. And then I'll see it on the news and I think, why don't I write predictions?
Yeah.
And I don't really seem like a
Oh my
cow.
God.
Does it
do
make
you know what
people?
I mean? Like, I don't...
Does it make people like a little bit sort of scared of you? I can imagine like in a social environment, are people a bit nervous because they think you're going to tell them something bad?
I just feel like I feel like it's quite... I live like quite a normal life. Do you know what I mean? I feel like when I'm not
Working.
doing it, it's like it's just off.
So you're able
So
to
you do
like
switch off from it,
separate
sorry.
work and
Yeah. But then someone could come up to me one night and be like, oh my God, like you read for me about my mum or whatever. And I'll be like, okay. And it will just come.
Yeah.
It's like a
So
split
nuts.
second.
Do you think a lot of people have the ability to do what you do, but they just don't know how to get there, or you're like blessed with it?
Do you know what? I forgot I was going to bring you a copy of my book. I've just wrote a book.
Oh,
you
wow.
should
You
have.
should have
I
bought
was
that.
going to bring you a couple books. Yeah, it's called You Must Be Psychic
Yeah.
with HarperCollins. It came out in June.
Oh,
It
amazing.
was
Amazing.
Sunday Times bestseller in the first week.
Oh my God.
So I wrote a book all about
Yeah.
like how we can
Yeah.
become more aware of it and tarot cards and crystals and angels and... But yeah, I feel like everybody's got intuition. It's a gut feeling. It's like, oh, I must phone my friend and then they call. Or
Yeah, what is that? I hate that. Or you're
There's
slagging them
gut
off and they ring,
feeling,
and I'm like, hang
but
on.
you're a bit psychic anyway.
must have heard.
You're a bit switched on anyway.
Do you think?
Yeah,
So can you tell that just from meeting her
Yeah.
today?
Really?
yeah.
Was anyone else in your? What do you
Maybe
think?
you
You
could do
make it.
this.
Sorry.
You could do this.
I could read your future, my
Yeah.
friend. Straight to the pub at 3. I know you said about your aunt. Was there anyone else in your family who was like this?
Quite a few, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
So does it tend to be that if someone has this ability, it goes back in their family, and there's other people?
I had like a great relative. I want to say like a great nan. I think that read tea leaves. But I don't have like direct close relatives that do what I do, if that makes sense. But I think it's like in my blood. My granddad used to say to me, oh, I don't believe in it, but I wrote about him in my book actually, but I used to float around the room when I was a kid. And I was like, what? He said, well, I used to sort of like close my eyes and I'd be sitting downstairs, but I'd be upstairs. And I'd be like,
gosh.
how? And he'd be like, well, this was when I was little. He'd be like, well, I just used to like levitate and float.
Yeah.
I said, are you mad?
Yeah.
He was like, but I don't believe in it. And then when I went to go to like development groups, say, like when I was, say, 16-ish and I didn't know what the hell I was doing those readings, saying things and thinking, where's that coming from? Obviously I had to get some advice, do you know what I mean? Because it was a lot for me.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I don't believe in it. And he used to laugh and joke. But he was amazing, but he used to laugh and joke with me. But now I think he'd probably... I don't know, maybe he'd feel different about it now. I mean, he's been past about 10 years, but it's like, yeah.
I find it fascinating.
Do you find, because you were saying just before we started recording that you've been asked to go on a radio show and you're worried that they're going to try and Are you always trying to protect yourself from people who are going to try and make you look silly?
I feel like as straight as it sounds, I feel like if you're going to try and make me look stupid, pay me for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
contact me and say, we've got a radio programme and, our presenter doesn't believe in mediums. Will you come on and do a reading? Of course I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they want to sit there and be awkward with me, 'cause you don't know how they're going to be. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You just don't know.
Because it is, I'm assuming, a world where there is a lot of cynical people about it. Is that right?
Yeah.
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 Are you
I
cynical
feel-
about it?
No, I'm not. I'm pretty,
I feel like
pretty open
collectively,
about it.
like
But
we're quite. I think like collectively, people are generally more open to things now.
Yeah.
Like about talking out about mental health and emotions more,
Yeah.
and but it's hard. Like I can only say what I feel.
what do you think about those? Because I remember I was on a tour a couple of years ago, and we were basically following the same route as Psychic Sally, and she was touring
Who's
around the
fuck is
country.
Psychic Sally?
Is she
So I
still
know-
around? Is she still working?
think so, yeah.
Yeah. She was touring around the country doing like a live show of reading. She would kind of like say someone's name, and then there would be someone in the audience who would have a connection to it. Is that something that you've done?
Yeah.
Live
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
and tours? And
Yeah. To be fair, like when I was younger, I had no confidence. I thought, how the hell am I going to stand up and talk in front of people? I was the kid in the classroom that was at the back. Like, don't pick me to get
Yeah.
up next. Like, I was a nervous wreck about everything and anything. I remember like starting driving, I must have been 17, and I was so nervous, anxious. I'd drive down the road and then the instructor would be like, oh, you're going to go in that car. And I just wouldn't see, I was just oblivious, like the
Yeah.
world around me.
Yeah.
I think because like of this, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm very, very aware, like I'm the kind of person that misses nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I've got loads of animals. I've got 5 cats and 2 dogs and 2 rabbits and a bird, right? And I'll sit there and I'll be like, that dog's eating that food. And my partner will be like, what? How'd you hear that? And it'll be like 2 rooms away, but I'll hear the
That's nuts.
smallest little noise and I'll be like, that's the dog in the food bowl. And it'll be like, things like that, I don't miss anything because I think
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so sensitive to like,
Yeah.
probably through what I do, I suppose. Like my mind's like so sensitive to feelings and
Yeah.
Very like empathetic almost.
yeah.
So when you came in and because you've not met either of us before, was there a specific energy you picked up from
Very
us?
negative.
Negative, very negative. Because you came in and the first thing you said to me is you're nervous. It's the
Yeah, you've
first
got
thing
a nervous twist
Tom's
about you.
often nervous that I'll say something.
But that's something that you picked up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I
And
find
Liv,
that's so interesting.
did you pick up something from Liv when
Do you want to do the reading now?
Well, we're going to do it in
Can I
part
ask,
2.
I want to
think.
ask just one more thing really quickly.
Yeah.
Do you ever find, have you met other psychics and they've been like faking it? Like when you meet, that they're like full of shit?
And
Basically.
and can you name them on the podcast?
Shame them.
Not really, no. I've had my fair share of grief
Yeah.
from people over the time. I think I don't mind telling you, I was 20, I want to say. 19, 20. I moved out very young.
Okay.
And so I was just kind of like I say like my business, if you like, was getting more serious. Like I was
Yeah.
getting a lot of clients. I was getting really busy. I was
Yeah.
online, doing Facebook Live day and night. That's all I did. That's how I built my following. Just through doing free readings. And I went through quite a big legal thing. And I don't mind telling you, but by 21, I was 20-ish. I was probably like 50K in debt. No money, like
Yeah.
nothing.
Fuck.
They tried to take everything that I had.
Who did?
This other medium online.
Oh, what? Because cheeky bastards.
Because I was doing well and they didn't like the fact. So I was kind of at this point where,
But wait, how did they get away with that?
it's a long story, but they had to do public apology anyway online and
Thank
it
God
just
for
sort
that.
of like got squashed. But it made me ill.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was
Yeah.
like, I give up. I literally said to my sister, take my money, I give up.
Yeah.
I remember, I think my last bill was like 20K. And he said, if you want to go to court, it's going to be another X amount. I said, are you mad? I was like, I'm 20 years old.
That's
I live
outrageous.
alone. Like, I'm struggling to pay my bills right now. I've had to take out loans and credit because this woman has literally torn me apart mentally, emotionally, everything I had and what I've got.
Yeah.
So then after that, I was like, I need to work my arse off here. Like, I've got bills to pay and I've got to pay this. And I did. Within a year, I paid that all, cleared that all up.
So
But
what's
I
the
worked
structure?
day and night to
the structure now of your business is that
Yeah.
you obviously write books, you do private like readings online.
I've done one book.
One book.
Don't ask me to do another.
Okay.
Don't ask
So
me
you've
to do
got the
another
book.
one.
You people pay online and you do reading for them online. Is
Yeah.
that the bulk of the work? Is online?
So most of it's online
Yeah.
now. The only kind of things I do is stuff like this,
Yeah.
in person, celeb clients.
Oh, have you ever been asked to help in a case, like a police case?
No.
Oh, we were talking about this
would.
last week. What was the woman? Nicola? Who look a
Nicola
bullet
Bully.
and didn't a psychic find her body or something?
Is that right?
He saw her in
The
where she was found. He could see that.
Oh,
Wow.
got you.
That's how they found her.
Would you ever want to get into something like that? Like, is it the sort of thing you can do?
I feel like I've never really tried. I feel
Yeah.
like different things are going to be different strengths. Like, that might not be something I'm good at. I don't really know because I've never really tried.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I've had like just things like in the past where I've had like somebody hold an envelope with a number in and I've got the number.
Yeah.
But there'll be times where you're right and you're not.
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not going to be right all the time. And for me, it's like, it's not a joke and it's not a game. And I'm quite brutal.
Yeah.
Like, on my life, I can be quite brutal
God.
with people. But
Prepare yourselves for part two.
but that's because like I just not in what I say and what I feel,
Yeah.
but I've got like quite morals about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke. Don't take the mick out of me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah.
expect the world for free.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't take the piss because I'll call you out. That's what I'm like.
I think that's
Yeah.
good though.
Yeah,
And
I
stand
just
your
feel
ground on
like
it.
because I suppose I respect what I do and I love my work and I know that it helps people. That's
Yeah.
it. So back to what you said. So private readings I do like as and when. Mm-hmm. Private clients I'll do like online, Skype, Zoom. I don't do in person because of trolling stuff, which is another story.
So one of the things that we were discussing before was is it easy to? I know you said you can switch off from it quite quickly, but do you find that you're sort of it's one of those jobs where you're always on, you're always thinking about it? I know you run a business, so that's part of it as well. But is it easy to switch off? Can you make your head switch off from it? Or are you sat at home watching TV and things are coming to you?
I try and switch off really.
Yeah.
Yeah, try and switch off. Try and live like a normal life.
Yeah.
But you run a business and it's 24/7.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whether it's at the moment I've been recruiting readers. So one thing you asked about is I've got readers that work for me, phone, text and email readings. And they're amazing. I've got amazing readers, but we have to recruit them. So
Yeah.
I have to test psychics.
How do you do
So
that?
I have a colleague that Kim, that basically, so the readers will apply online through the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she will like interview them. So she talks about like pay and how many hours we need. And they take calls from all over the world through my site, like my brand, if you like. And yeah, so we've been in a bit of a recruitment drive
Wow.
just because it's been busier. So we have to ramp it up. So I think I took on 3 last week.
How do you know who's right and
one
who's
amazed me.
really?
Yeah, one amazed me, and normally, like, I'll come off the phone, and sometimes I'll think, like, okay, so it could be like a 20-minute reading, and I'll think, right, so they told me this, have a little think about it. But this one, I said to them then, like, you've said to me some things that are really true.
Wow.
She went to be like, is it your nan? Where there's like Margie, who's that? When that's her sister. And she's just said stuff to me like,
Yeah.
you spent your partner, he's
Yeah.
got really black shiny shoes. And he's not on my social media, never.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah. I said, he's in the RAF. And she went, yeah, he's got really black shiny shoes. And she said, he doesn't like to wear gold jewellery. And I went, no, he don't. He wears silver, which is true.
Yeah.
I said, I love gold. I've got all these gold rings on, gold jewellery all the time. And, but little things like that
Yeah.
you think, yeah, that's so true and that's meaningful to me.
Wow.
Because it must be quite
Do you know what I
like
mean?
yeah, but you know, like if
Someone
you,
else could tear that apart and be like, well, you know, he's either going to wear silver or gold. There's only 2 types of, there's only silver, there's only gold. But
Yeah.
for me, and the way she said it was meaningful. And so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, I was
yeah.
like, yeah.
But for you, it must be like, or anyone who's like a sort of celeb, to know what is Googleable. Do you know what I mean? Like if someone well known is going for it, like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you. Stood up in Edinburgh once.
Yeah. So because Liv and I have both had experiences with psychics in the past, but do you think it's an industry with a lot of people who don't have the ability they say they do, or do you think it's if someone says they can do it, you believe them, or do you think there are a lot of fake people?
It's going to be.
Yeah.
Like you get a crap builder.
Yeah, I suppose it's like
can
any
get a
industry,
crap
isn't it?
psychic.
Yeah.
You might talk to me and think I'm a load of old shit. Like, you ain't going to be right
Yeah.
for everyone.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm so excited
I'm
for
Some
this
people
reading.
so
might think I'm
excited.
likeable. Some people might think I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's like the way the cookie crumbles. You like me or you don't.
Yeah.
You might have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
As and when, because it's, for me, with private readings, I can put out, a couple of months ago, I put out like 2 months worth and they were booked up like that. But I made myself so drained, I had to cancel
Really?
loads. Yeah.
Is it a very
I did about
exhausting-
yeah.
Like mentally
Yeah.
exhausting.
I did about 5 weeks of doing like, I don't know how many a week, 3, 4 a day, right, of like 40-minute readings.
Yeah.
And I just felt knackered. And I refunded like however
Really?
many. Yeah.
So three or four a day would be normal, but that's
Yeah, then you're pushing it.
But that sounds like exhausting, doing 3 or 4 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's people's grief.
Yeah.
It's people's relatives. It's people's, like, I think I've probably given a reading in it's sort of like every situation you can think of, whether it's somebody's taken their own life, whether it's somebody that's lost a child, whether it's somebody that's passed of cancer, whatever it is, I've probably given a reading on that. And it's hard. Like, I don't absorb it, but it can be really emotional
Yeah.
for people.
Because you almost like take it on a little bit, I suppose.
It's like
Wow.
I mean, a lot of mediums will say like they're a channel, like I am. I just say what I feel and what comes. But then it can hit me after. Sometimes it might be because I think, oh my God, that reading was so emotional. Like, but it can make me feel physically drained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up part 1 and we'll come back with part 2.
Yeah.
And we will do a reading. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have a psychic stat. We do a stat of the week every week, Chris. This week's is what proportion of people who have visited a psychic believe they were truthful and saw real results? What do you think as
It's
a
probably
professional?
really low. Let me
Really
guess
low?
about 20%.
You think 20% live?
Well, I've just seen the answer, so
Okay, we'll just go with 20% then.
sorry.
We will come back in part 2 with
It's
Chris.
probably about 1 in 10.
1 in 10.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a bad name.
Yeah. Well, we're going
I
to
don't
disprove
know,
that
I'm
in part
so
2.
pro it. We'll see.
You've got people that are so for it and people that are so don't believe.
I think that's the positive people and the negative people. Like, you know, the hopeful people. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's the thing. Whereas the negative Nancy's, fuck off. Can we say that in
There you
part
go. That's
one?
it's a good way to get out of part 1. We'll come back in part 2 for more with Chris Riley. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to part 2 of Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy,
And me, Liv Bentley.
and our very, very special guest, Chris Riley. Chris, our stat that we put out was what proportion of people who have visited a psychic believe they were truthful and saw real results? You guessed 1 in 10, quite a low guess. It is over half of people who visited a psychic
Oh, I was actually surprised
feel
at
it
that.
was truthful and saw
we
results.
must be doing well then.
There we go. That's
We'll
good.
take
That's
that.
positive. You are going to do some readings for us. I said, do we have time to? You're going to try and do both of us, but you said you feel a
We'll
stronger
see what
connection
comes
with
up.
Liv.
Okay.
So, obviously, before we recorded this, I let you know you can bring a photo. I've
Yeah.
not looked at the photo you've brought yet. You can bring a photograph of somebody who's passed away. And I often say that to clients. If they say somebody books a 15-minute reading, 20 minutes, there's only so much you're going to get in that time. So
Yeah.
if that person has booked that reading because they particularly want to hear about their nan or their dad or their mum, then sometimes they'll just say to me, you know, I'd like to hear from my dad. Okay, fine. And that's enough for me
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
then just kind of like in my mind, I suppose, like ask of them to come through. It's a little bit like just a thought. So it's like a thought goes in my mind, okay, dad, and what do I feel? So I've not looked at your photo yet, as you know, but what what I did feel and what I do feel, even just before then, before we had that break is that this feels to me to be mum's side, this feels to me to be Nan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's an Anne kind of name.
Yeah. My mum's name is Catherine Ann Bentley.
Okay. And is that connected with grandmother as well or not?
Yes, but I don't know if it might be her middle name as well.
Yeah, okay. Because there's a feeling
That's
of
so
Anne,
weird.
Anne.
Yeah.
When I think about you, the first thing that I feel is your emotions are like all locked away. Okay. And I respectfully say this to you. I do feel like you've been through your own mental health journey, and I do feel like you've been through your own anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to say your life is happier now than it was like 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel with that you was kind of like, if I said to you, I don't want to use the word exploited, but I feel like maybe that means something to you if I use that word, but I feel like the wrong people were around me and they were devaluing me. And it's almost like with you guys being online, me being online, it's like once you say something, you kind of can't take it back.
Yeah.
It's like once a video goes out of you, it's out there. And with
Yeah.
you, it's a little bit like there's things out there that are not bad things you've done at all, but it's how someone's made you look and made you feel. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So I know that your life is happier now. I definitely feel with your grandmother that I'm not able to say goodbye to you. Okay? Because she's waving to me. And the first thing is with that, it's like my symbol to say, I don't say goodbye. It's like I'm waving here. I want to say to you, there is a man, who's John, connected to her?
Yeah, my uncle.
Okay? And I don't know if your granddad passed before her, but I feel with your nan that I'm heartbroken about something.
Oh my God, I don't know what that could be.
Just hold that for a moment for me.
Okay.
I feel like before Nan passed, I feel like I'm grieving in my own way. And I know that I've got to talk about three children, and there's a divide between them.
Yeah.
Because she's going like this to me.
Oh my
3.
God, that's so not.
And
This is my
she's going 2 and 1.
Yeah.
So she's showing me 3, but she's splitting that into 2 and 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So she's making me feel like there's one sibling. Who's Tony?
I don't know who Tony is.
Hold that then. Who's alive. And she just makes me feel like there's one sibling that don't speak. Do you understand that?
Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah, sorry.
I want to say, I don't like to talk about pregnancy, but I have to.
I'm not pregnant, am I?
And
No, wait, because I've been waiting to do a pregnancy test. This is terrifying.
yeah, I've got to talk about pregnancy.
No, I'm going to have a heart attack. I literally on my way in said, I wonder if you could tell me if I'm pregnant.
I knew that when you even asked me to come.
Wait, I'm
Oh my God.
I felt like sometimes when people contact me, whether it's like podcast or celeb client or whatever, I'll think I'm going to go in there and I'm going to talk about that. And one of the things I thought I was going to talk to you was about pregnancy, and it's coming back again. And
I am pregnant.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I had a night. I dreamt last night that I was having a baby, and I dreamt that I would ask you about it today.
But I don't. But I feel like the timing's not right.
Yeah, it's. Oh my God, this is so because anyway,
God.
sorry. I've been going back and forth about this because I'm not trying to have a baby, but I'm not trying.
What I want you to remember is that you do what's right for you and a partner. Right? So you try and, if you are pregnant and the timing is wrong, I know people have their own beliefs about these things.
Yeah.
But you do what is right for you and what you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah? Don't just think, can't do that and I can't do that. And it's like, just remember I've said that.
Yeah.
Okay? And where is there like a Harry around you, like a cousin or a...
Oh my God, Harry died last year. That's the cousin whose bracelet I bought.
Oh my God.
Oh, is it?
Oh my God, it's given me absolute shivers. My cousin called Harry died last year.
Right, okay.
That's so weird.
Oh my God.
Is he not Nan's side of the family?
Yeah, he
He
is.
is. So why does he feel separate too?
Because he lived in Australia.
Yeah, okay. Very charming.
Very charming.
I'm 30, he's got to be younger than me.
He was 36 or 37.
Right,
I think.
okay. That's fine, that's okay. He looks young to me, he feels young to me.
Yeah.
If you say he's 36 or 87, that's fine, but I feel young.
I don't know.
Have you been to America? No.
Years and years ago.
LA?
No.
You're going to be in LA.
Doing what? Selling my lube.
You're going to be in LA. You're going to be in America. You're going to have opportunities in America. And And I need you to also look out for an S initial. Do you know Siobhan?
Yeah, why do I know that name? Why who's called Siobhan?
It's someone to stay well clear of.
Oh, really? Okay.
You've got an S
Siobhan.
initial, like a Siobhan sort of name,
Okay.
where I need to stay away from them.
Okay.
And I think, you know, you're going to see that make sense in probably 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Are you living with your partner?
Yeah. Why?
Are you quite particular?
Yes. OCD
It's
to
just
the
a little
max.
bit like designer house. I like I'm not going to say like expensive things, but do you have like those designer books and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do for some weird reason.
Okay. Because I just sort of see you being very particular.
Yeah.
But I know that you're settled.
Yeah.
But I feel your partner brings me a sense of drive.
Yes.
Like I'm a very work hard, focused on money. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
And I don't want to take him wrong and say he's materialistic because you're not.
Yeah.
But I know that he's the driving force that you need.
Yeah,
Do you
he
understand
is.
me? I don't know if he wants to go into property.
He's in fucking hell. He's in property.
Is he? Is
Yeah.
he? Yeah. So when I look at your house, as much as I feel like you're settled, I feel like you are you're gonna have more than one property and you're gonna make money through property.
Okay.
And that'll be sort of driven by him. Did you bring a picture of someone?
No, I didn't bring a photo. No.
Did you bring anything?
I thought I could use this necklace as an object, but it's not linked to anyone who's passed.
Just yours.
It's just mine.
Okay.
Does that work?
That's as much use as the chocolate
Okay.
teapot.
Okay, let me take this out.
Thank you very much for that.
I'll
That's-
give you time to ask any
That was a
questions or
bit-
anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get rid of this.
I think you might want to chop some of this out, but I don't know how strong it's going to be for you. I don't know why.
You don't feel it very strong?
I just feel like for you, it's like boom. Tell me now if it's no. Have you got somebody around you with breast cancer?
I have 2 people in my family who had breast cancer, yeah. My auntie and my gran.
On mum's side?
Yeah, both on mum's side.
Yeah, because this is connected to your mum.
Yeah.
Right, bear with me. Because I know the first thing I'm thinking about, and would you understand if I said that is your dad not around?
No, he's around.
Right, are you closer with mum?
Yeah, probably.
Right, so I don't know why I've got like mum, and then I don't know why my dad's not around me. Who, and this isn't a prediction, who had a heart attack?
Can it, does it have to, I mean, I don't know if it's linked, but my girlfriend's dad died of a heart attack.
Right, okay.
I don't know if that's linked to
Okay,
me,
bear
but
with me a minute then. I know I've got to talk about a father figure, because when I talk about dad, like with you, and
Yeah.
it can be kind of like, so dad can then kind of go on to, like, dad, heart attack, yeah, my girlfriend, do you understand me? So it's kind
Yeah.
of like sometimes, so let me just see.
yeah.
And there's nobody past that you want to hear from, no?
I mean, I have a grandfather who passed last year.
Have you got a picture?
Yeah, I can get a picture.
Show me.
That's who died on the left. Do you want to pass that?
Okay. So just tell me mum's side or dad's side?
Dad's side.
Dad's side. Would you understand if I said my breathing's not right?
Yes.
And my lungs?
Yeah.
And I've got pressure around my chest?
Yeah, he's a very heavy smoker, yeah.
And I don't go to hospital?
Didn't want to go to hospital at the end, yeah.
Because there's a look at him, I feel like I don't want to go to hospital. I'm just going to zoom and screenshot this if that's all right.
Yeah.
I feel like... Sorry, I just need that closer up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to go to hospital and I feel like I'm a bit awkward about it.
Definitely didn't want to go to hospital, yeah.
So if that's your nan next to him,
Yeah.
would you understand if I said that she looked after him
Yes.
and she tried to keep him at home?
Yes.
And what is this about having a bed in the house? Did they bring a hospital bed into the living room or something?
No, they didn't do that.
Just hold that for me.
Okay.
But you can understand if I said that Nan looks after him and sort of like doesn't get carers, and that makes sense.
That's true, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I like strangers. with Grandad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know this sounds somewhat generic, but Christmas is important.
Christmas is
Like maybe I'm a love Christmas or whatever, make a thing of it, I don't know. But Christmas is important, but also there's a date. I need to go like 19th, 20th of December. Date of passing.
maybe passed in December, but early December. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm off with the date and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why I kept seeing 2 and 1. So to me it was like 21st. So maybe, I don't know what date it is, it doesn't matter. But I just know there's got to be something about the 21st of December. Just remember that for me. But you can understand
Okay.
the way I look at this is like there's 12 months in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's like hot guess to go December.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a passing of December.
Yeah.
But I need to go 21. Just hold that for me.
Okay.
Right?
Because that necklace is from her.
You've got to be careful of what you're agreeing to at the minute. Contracts. Right? Because you can be, in the nicest way, you can be a little bit naive.
Uh-huh.
You like to see the good in people.
Yeah.
You think everybody's good.
Yeah.
If someone gives, it's a little bit like if someone contacts you with an opportunity, do you want to come and do this? You go, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you want to, it's like you always want to do more and do better.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you have to be careful of being misled.
Okay. Yeah.
You're better. How old
Yeah.
are you now?
28.
Right. So I sort of felt like 27-ish. So whether like a year ago, the communication weren't great and you kind of sorted things out. But I feel like your communication's better.
It definitely is better, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I feel with you, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you can get a little bit in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And your social life is social. Like you've got a great social life.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, you can kind of like put family to one side a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's true,
So
yeah.
I feel like in your kind of time,
Yeah.
I feel like I want to make time for my sister as well. It's important. This is
Okay.
coming from your granddad,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that you've got a really sort of like creative kind of brain. I know you do this and you do content, whatever, but you've got a really creative brain.
Yeah.
I don't see you doing a physical kind of job. But I also don't see you being stuck in an office.
No.
Right?
No.
But I feel with your career that you're on the right path, but you doubt yourself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can see magazines with you.
Modelling.
I can see you in magazines, I can.
Magazines.
Yeah. Like I'm flicking through magazines and I see your face on it. Just remember I've said that.
Okay.
Okay. Have you been to New York?
Yes.
Do you love it?
I do like it,
But
yeah.
you're going to go more than once.
Yeah.
So what's the 3? How many times have you been?
I may have been 3
Couple
times.
times? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, because you've got a big connection with New York. I feel like your granddad was good with money, but wishes that he had more.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Wasn't very wealthy, no.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that you've realised that life isn't all about money.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like it's okay to set a goal and say, do you know what? I want 50k in my bank. I want that in my bank. I want to get a car. I want to get this, that, great. But I think your mindset's kind of changed of what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So with regards to pregnancy, does your girlfriend sort of want kids and you're not ready?
Yes. She doesn't want kids now, but she definitely
If
wants
she fell
them.
pregnant, she'd keep the baby.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Just be careful. Right? What's the 2 years? How long have you been together?
We've been together for 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
So that might be coming then.
A pregnancy?
Pregnancy, yeah. And you've got a dog.
Yeah, we have
Just
a dog.
have one dog.
Just one dog, yeah.
Well, you'll have 2. So you'll have 2 dogs. is this dog... I don't know why, like, one would be, like, maybe... Like, I want, like, a light dog and a dark dog. So I might have, like, a something and a Labrador. You're going to have a Labrador dog.
Olivia does talk about that a lot.
Yeah, a Labrador kind of dog, yeah.
Saying through gritted teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a really good person for you to have like in, how am I saying this, in your life. As a friend, as
Bentley.
someone who's you are so loyal that you are so good at being around him.
Really?
That's nice.
That is nice.
But I feel like you know who and what's important to you. But I think this goes back to like where, you know, I said about like family and your sister and just checking in and making the time,
Yeah.
right? I think that with you, on the kind of like emotional side, you won't say to somebody, I love you to bits, you're amazing. We'll just keep it in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's about feeling like you can be a bit more sensitive.
Okay.
Because that's what puts kind of like not a dampener on your relationship, but I feel like your partner wants more.
Affection. Yeah.
Yeah?
That does ring true, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people like love languages, like it's different for everybody.
That was a
but with-
podcast we literally did 2 weeks ago. It was love
I haven't
language.
listened to any of your things, by the way.
Neither have I.
I wish I had time. But with you, it's a bit like you're you might buy things or buy gifts or book nice stuff, but I want to hear it more. That's how I think your partner feels.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right?
Interesting.
Right?
It's very interesting.
Um,
God, this is getting really personal, isn't it?
I know, it does. I don't know why I see a lot of stairs. So you don't live in a house?
We've just moved to. We were living in a flat, and we've just moved to a house with lots of stairs.
Cool. Is it a townhouse kind
Yeah.
of thing? Or, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go up one flight of stairs, I went up more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was confused. I was like, is it a house or what is this?
It's a house.
Grey carpets or no?
Yeah.
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 You got to not worry about money and stuff like that as well. Like, you're going to stay where you live, you've got a stable life. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But you've got a bit of a niggle in your head. And sometimes that can be from what people have said. Your granddad probably would have said to you, you've got to go out and work really hard to get what you want in life. You've got to go out and work your ass off 7 days a week, or money doesn't grow on trees. People often sell this stuff, and I think that puts little things in the back of your head. So I feel like your granddad sometimes would say things like that and try to be helpful, but wasn't always. That makes sense? So I feel like where you are is stable, but you live like with a bit of worry.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Oh, that's so weird.
Okay. Any questions?
I want to ask more.
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to ask you. Can I ask you something after this?
Yeah.
I'm like speechless.
That
That is incredible.
That was way more detail than I was expecting.
Yeah, and also stuff that I know is not Googleable. Like, that's how, I mean, without sounding cynical, that is how you kind of judge it. Like, I was just trying to think, like, how would he know? Like, there's nowhere that my cousin does. Like, you wouldn't know
You
that.
wouldn't be able to find that out on Google.
No.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was amazing.
Anytime.
That was amazing.
I'm just going to nip to Boots.
Let's wrap up. Chris, where can people find you online?
Just search me online. I'm on Instagram, Chris Riley Psychic,
Yeah.
and my website, chrisrileymedium.com.
Amazing. That was genuinely
Thank you.
incredible.
That was unbelievable.
Anytime at all.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
coming in.
much.
Thank you.
We will go away and think about that.
No, thank you so much. That was
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, we'll get you back because that was really fun. That was really, really fun. Amazing. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was amazing.